G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here and watching my content. As always, it is my pleasure and privilege to talk about the greatest game in the world, rugby. And boy, Rugby World Cup semi-final is upon us like a flash. Argentina versus the mighty All Blacks, led by Sir Ian Foster. Oh boy, he finally pulled the team together last week with that monumental historical performance over the Irish, redeeming that series lost last year and basically eliminating one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the Rugby World Cup. And surely that has put in the All Blacks back to the favorite spot of winning, at least one of the favorite spots of winning the Rugby World Cup this year. And Argentina will not be going down as an easy opponent this weekend, however, for the All Blacks, because since the last Rugby World Cup, there has been some monumental occasions for the Argentinians. They have beaten the All Blacks twice since the last Rugby World Cup. And why do you think that's important? Because Argentina has never beaten the All Blacks before. And the first time they beat the All Blacks was at a neutral venue, which is really important because this will be a neutral venue again in Paris. That was in Australia during the lockdowns. And then the second time, which is the most important and is the most recent, which is last year, they beat New Zealand at Christchurch. Yeah, so a lot of the Kiwis are probably still licking their wounds over that loss at home because everybody knows that the All Blacks hates more than losing is losing at home. And I think that this is going to be a very, very highly contested match. And I think the style of the match that the team would like to dictate will actually ultimately determine which team is going to win the match. And Michael Cheika is one of the brilliant minds of rugby. And if you watch Argentinian play, they do have two very distinct style of rugby. They play a more expansive rugby against a team like Australia, who also likes to play expansive rugby. When they play against the Springboks, and when they did find the success against the New Zealanders, they played a much tighter, a much goal-kicking, a much more breakdown contest style of rugby with a lot less running, a lot less running involved in those key areas, in those key battles. So yeah, if Michael Cheika, knowing Michael Cheika, he's gonna be looking at slowing the game down and try to get the game in the speed that they would like to play. Whereas the All Blacks, as we've shown last week against the Irish, I do think that the Irish probably played into the hands of the All Blacks quite obviously, with a lot of running game, exactly the style the All Blacks like to play, the tempo that the All Blacks to play, and the All Blacks control the game from start to finish, despite having 2 yellow cards. They were never in that game against Ireland. The Ireland had the lead. Yeah, so that's the big difference. That's the style that the players are used to, and we'll have to see if Michael Cheika really has something in the bag to pull out against the All Blacks and find that success, that elusive Rugby World Cup final for the first time ever for the Argentinians. So the history between the two sides was very one-sided for the All Blacks until after the 2019 Rugby World Cup. There was issues with the lockdown, and this was the first win was a monumental occasion for the All Blacks, for the Argentinians. They were in lockdown. This was the first game out of lockdown. It's not even like they've been playing any warm-up matches. Straight out of lockdown on the field against the All Blacks. And what was really impressive with this first win was that we'll have a look at the stats in a minute, was the Argentinians were not only that they haven't got any warm-up matches, but the All Blacks lost to Australia the week before. So the All Blacks put on the full-strength team against the Argentinians in this match. And and it went for the Argentinian side. And this was something, what I do want to mention with this match is that the weather did play into a little bit of advantage potentially to Argentina. It was quite hot in Australia for this match. So maybe that heat has gone to the All Blacks a little bit. Argentina looked like the All Blacks were a little bit worn out for that match from the heat. The second win for the Argentina happened last year under Michael Cheika. The first one, Michael Cheika was just the assistant coach. Second one, Michael Cheika actually took over as the head coach, beating All Blacks at Christchurch. It was a game that really nobody expected Argentina to win unless you're a die-hard Argentina fan. at home in New Zealand, and Michael Chick just taken over the team. You know, the team has some horrendous performances overseas leading into this match, and boy, he was able to turn the team around. Very tight contest. A lot of All Blacks fell apart from a lot of the disciplinary issues. So yeah, we'll have a look at details into this game in a minute. The referee, talking about discipline, is gonna be Angus Garner from Australia. He's number one, the best referee out of Australia, hands down. And you know, both teams will be very used to having him on the field. You know, from the Rugby Championship, probably a bit more favored to the All Blacks because they also had Angus Garner in the rugby, in the Super Rugby competition as well. So they will be more used to what he likes, more used to how he operates, more used to the breakdown, which is probably the most important battle on the field tonight. How he's gonna adjudicate a breakdown. I'm sure both teams have started him, you know, like a textbook over the week, and try to figure out what the margins that he's gonna be looking for at the breakdowns for those crucial penalties that both teams gonna be looking to have in recent performances. Now the match for the All Blacks, let's have a look at that, the recent results. So All Blacks has been peaking quite a bit, and I think that Ian Foster has done a tremendous job in priming the team for a peak. There were some criticism for the Irish team, is that maybe they peaked a bit too early. There was, you know, media afterwards in Ireland talking about maybe the Ireland team should have tapered off a little bit in those easier matches in earlier rounds, and allowed it, instead of putting their full strength team on the field, and allow their team to peak a little bit later to, you know, in the for the semi-final. There was a lot of talk, but Ian Foster has definitely peaked perfectly for the All Blacks. We saw, you know, losing to South Africa in the warm-up, the first game out of the so-called, you know, they had a training, you know, about a month of training off, and they're coming out to just completely, you know, got themselves handed to them by the Springboks, and then going to the French team game. They looked a bit better, but still look very rusty. The kicking game was very off. Beauden Barrett was looking like he hasn't played rugby for 6 months or something. And then they go into Namibia again, penalties, red card against Ethan de Groot, and he was looking, despite against Namibia, they gave out 12 penalties this game, and it was just not something that ideal against the team, you know, in the caliber of Namibia, to give out so many penalties, including a red card. And then they found themselves slowly but surely starting to peak, absolutely demolish Italy the week after. Perfect, you know, almost a perfect performance from the All Blacks. Uruguay, again, this was an almost perfect performance from the All Blacks. Very few penalties given, under 10, like 8 or 7, and then just completely, you know, one side again didn't let the Uruguay any opportunity to score any points. And then finally, that magnificent performance last week against the Irish, probably the best performance in the All Blacks from the All Blacks team under Ian Foster's watch for eyes in the last 4 years. By far the best performance, redeeming themselves from the Rugby Championship, from the serious loss, you know, a year ago. And here we are in tremendous form, the All Blacks. And the thing that, if you want to look back for the All Blacks, right, they had the last 4 years has been very, very up and down. Ian Foster has been criticized a lot, especially after losing to the Irish last year. The one big thing that the All Blacks has really improved from 12 months ago when lost to the Irish, was the massive physicality they bring into the 4-pack. Tyrell Lomax and Ethan de Groot has been two players that's, you know, instrumental in getting the All Blacks that physical dominance, that at the set piece, physical dominance at the scrummaging, and physical dominance at a lot of times at the breakdown in those tight areas, in defensively and offensively as well. So that's the big two areas. I had a bit of a stats I was gonna see. So yeah, since Lomax and De Groot has been put into the team, All Black has been pretty much on the rise. Whenever they're on the field as a starting team, has been on the rise. This game against France, Lomax wasn't there, and then this game against South Africa, Lomax was injured. So the win percentage with the two players on the field are actually quite high for the All Blacks, believe it or not. And that is something that, once again, this weekend will be a huge factor when it comes to the battle at the breakdowns. For the Argentinians, the recent results has been like Argentina has been up and down, up and down, up and down. Like you can see, there's been a coaching change about a year ago. No, in fact, yeah, almost 2 years ago now, in 2021, at the end of the 2021 season, when Ledesma was resigned due to just poor performances. But in recent times, 2021, yeah, there was some horrendous results out of Argentina. And then 2021, like I said, 2022, Michael Cheika took over, started to turn the team around, getting that win in New Zealand. Very, very crucial, but still the consistency is just not there. And then uh, in the November Test series, again, Argentina had a pretty poor showing. They did manage to find a win against England, but it was overall pretty lackluster performances. Coming to this rugby championship, they did find themselves a crucial win over the Wallabies, away, which would have given them a lot of confidence. They struggled a bit against New Zealand, and then they struggled against. They had a very close against South Africa, and then struggled again in the warm up. But Argentina has been slowly but surely on the rise as well in recent times. They did lose to England in that masterclass performance by George Ford, where they completely, with the discipline and everything was just not there for Argentina to stay in touch. But ever since then, Argentina surely but slowly is on the rise as well. The key for Argentina in this match is once again Nicolas Sanchez coming off the bench to try to finish the game. If Argentinians can stay close with the All Blacks, I think that'll be the game plan to try to get Sanchez to come off the field, to make that impact play, to bring on that experience and try to close out the game and squeeze out the win over the New Zealanders. So let's have a look at the first game. Sanchez was instrumental in this first win. This was actually the second win. This was the first win. Was instrumental in the first win over New Zealand with his goal kicking. We can see a lot of goal kicking. There was just discipline issues for the New Zealand that cost them the first one over Argentina, and then the second one, like I said, again, disciplinary issues for New Zealand once again. If you look at the statistics, 13 penalties considered, allowing Argentina to kick 6 goals despite scoring more tries. Argentina was able to just keep in control of the ball and then keep those penalty goals ticking over, and then holding out for the first win ever over New Zealand in New Zealand soil. So that is something that a lot of the New Zealand fans would like to forget. And finally, and most importantly, there is one thing that I want to mention. This is probably the first time in this Rugby World Cup where this might become an issue. It's the weather. The Argentinians and New Zealanders, like I mentioned, the first game, the weather, some might argue that played into the advantage to the Argentinians. This was played in Australia. I think this was pretty much early summer in November, and it was quite hot. And that was something that really, the New Zealanders really struggled a little bit in this game. It clearly looked like the heat was a bit of an issue. But more importantly, after the second game in Argentina, after this game where Argentina beat New Zealand at Christchurch, the following game was an absolute blowout for New Zealand, this one. So after losing to Argentina the week before, the next week, they came out and absolutely destroyed Argentina, 53 points to 3 in New Zealand. And one of the key factors in this game is it was raining. And New Zealand played the whole game without hardly any errors. And Argentina was struggling to hold on to the ball to the greasy conditions. New Zealand, look at that. Perfect line-out, perfect scrummaging. It was absolutely brutal game to watch. And it was just, the rain is much suited for the New Zealand team. And this weekend in Paris on Friday night, looks like it's going to be raining. Yeah, so this is going to be, I think the rain could be a deciding factor to this game for, if it wasn't raining, I think the game would have been probably more closely contested. But with the rain, I think the New Zealanders will be very happy to see that. So let's have a look at the lineup. Let's see who's in, who's out for this game. Coming in the front rows, we got Thomas Gaggio, Julian Montoya, and Francisco Cordella for the Argentinians front rowers. Gaggio, the loosehead prop for Argentina, is one of the highest, if not the highest, line breakers in the front rowers in all of the Rugby World Cup at the moment. He's absolutely machining when carrying the ball. He's so dangerous, but he is a little bit lacking in terms of the scrummaging, in terms of set piece. He is just one of those guys who's, he's young, he's a lot of energy, but the technique is just not quite there to quite there yet. So this will be a big test for him up against Tyrell Lomax, in my opinion, one of the best tight head props in the world right now. So yeah, for New Zealanders, Ethan de Groot comes in number 1, Cody Taylor number 2, and Tyrell Lomax, already mentioned, coming number 3. He had a bit of leg injury, but he was perfectly fine against the Irish, so a lot of New Zealanders will breathe a sigh of relief from that. And again, he's probably going to be putting a lot of pressure on Gajo, and I think that the scrummaging will favour the All Blacks because of it. Ethan de Groot has been quite good for the All Blacks as well. He's developed a lot of more physicality, a lot of size as well. And just that, what he brings for the All Blacks in terms of the scrummaging is that he's just, he's on the looser side, he has been pretty good overall. The only time he struggled a bit is against Uni Antonio from France, who pretty much given everybody a lot of trouble. So outside of that battle, De Groot has been very, very dominant in all the other matches so far. So Francisco Cordella, it's gonna be a rough game for him. This is gonna be hard once again. But this is not the first time he's up against Ethan de Groot, so I think they're gonna be just fine. In the hooker position, Julian Monteja is one of the breakdown specialists. He will be one of the key areas that Argentina needs to perform to win the game. His breakdown prowess is absolutely world class. His ability to turn over the ball, the breakdown, he's done that. In fact, both games when Argentina beat New Zealand, he was instrumental in getting those penalties, in getting those 3 points. So once again, he will be a key factor in this game. Cody Taylor brings a lot of stability and stability and set piece polish to the All Blacks team. He was struggling a bit last year, but he's now one of the most clinical performers for the All Blacks in terms of the set piece. Coming in at the lock positions now, Guido Petty comes in at number 4 jersey, and then Thomas Lavanini comes in number 5. Both players used to be heavily penalty used to be very ill-disciplined, but nowadays both of them has been much better, getting that body height lower, getting their emotions under control, and very good locks for the Argentinians. And once again, the breakdown will be a key areas. Both players will be looking at staying disciplined and not giving away silly penalties whilst trying to earn some penalties of their own. Samuel Whitelock, the veteran that won the game for the All Blacks last week, to get that turnover at the breakdown, the ability for the All Blacks to hold 37 phases without giving away a penalty was really truly something that was amazing to see. Especially something that the penalty count, the discipline has been an issue for the All Blacks in a lot of these matches where they lost. And Sam Whitelock really showed his veteran experience to get that turnover and not giving away the penalty there. Scotty Barrett as well. Penalty is another thing that Scotty Barrett has been struggling with pretty much his entire career. The game that they lost to the Springboks, Scotty Barrett, was sent over the red card for receiving 2 yellow cards. So yeah, again, just discipline will be a massive battle between the two sides. In the loose set forwards now, Juan Martin Gonzalez comes in number 6, Shannon Frizzell number 6 for the All Blacks, and then Marcos Krima coming in number 7, Sam Kane, the captain, number 7, and Facundo Iza and Adi Savia, the number 8s for both teams. Again, the breakdown, the defense, the physicality is going to be the key to this game, especially with the rank. Krima is probably the one that's most prone to penalties in the loose forwards for Argentina. Krima does play blindside flanker with the number 7 jersey. 6 is the open side for Argentina. With Pablo Matera out from an injury, these guys are going to have a lot of work to do to try to match up with the breakdown prowess. Sam Cam had one of his best games again in recent times against Ireland. So this is going to be huge battle. Adi Savia as well, bringing that physicality, bringing in that ball carrying for the All Blacks. This will be. I think the All Blacks have a slight edge in the loose forwards there as well over Argentina. So in the back line now, we've got Gonzalo Bertrano comes in number 9. Aaron Smith returns number 9 jersey. Aaron Smith played the full 80 minutes last week. He was not taken off at all. And then the two number 9s will be really managing the breakdown, managing the speed of the rucks will be quite important once again. And number 10 jersey, Santiago Carreras and Richie Muonga. Santiago Carreras has been doing really well as a playmaker, he's really creative when it comes to playmaking, and he's able to pick out a lot of right options. But the one weakness, and he did show in recent times, especially against the Springboks, that was exposed quite, that was a pretty badly exposed, is his ability to cope with the rush defense. So if the All Blacks can put some rush defense on him, I think he might struggle once again. He's just when the rush defense comes up, goes up to his face, his decision making is really starting to hesitate a little bit, and he's one of the mistakes that he makes when faced with the rush defense, he's trying to rush the pass instead of just holding on to the ball a little bit and just really pick out your options and really look around for the options that are in front of him. He tend to just be like, oh yeah, the defense is coming out really quickly. I better pass this ball even faster to get to get it out of my hands, sort of thing. So again, that's just something that experience will come when you play. But outside of that, he's extremely good. If allowed the space to operate, Carreras is extremely dangerous, both running under the high ball, and he's very good at playmaking as well. Richie Mo'unga, we all know he's one of the most dangerous guys, carrying the ball, running the ball, and kicking the ball. And he's just, he's just so dangerous every time he gets the ball. You can't blink. If you blink, he's gone, and he's going to find space where there is no space. We saw that last week against Ireland, where he carved up the defenders, ran through, what's his name? Joshua Van der Fleer, one of the best defenders in the world, to set up Will Jordan for a try. That's just how dangerous he is. Coming in at the winger position now. This is the left-hand winger, Matias Carreras for Argentina, he's been incredibly good for Argentina. He's in very fine form as well. The speed that he's been bringing to Argentinian side. I think he found his peak against Japan, I think, scoring 3 tries. And yeah, he's absolutely sensational at the moment. Mark Talea returns to the fold. He was left out of the team last week due to breaching the curfew. So yeah, there was no details on what he do, what the issue was, but it was disciplinary issues behind the scenes. I really don't want to see that, players missing out on games because of silly stuff off the field. But yeah, he's now back in the fold, the number 11 jersey. The centers field combinations now, this will be quite important. Argentina has stuck to this very young, very energetic center combination for quite, pretty much for this entire year. So now, Michael Cheika he's been, juggling the centers with a lot in last year, but this year he's pretty much settled on for these two guys. So Santiago Chocobares, just full of energy, full of power. He plays for Toulouse, and he was really, really good for Toulouse in the final game. In fact, I did watch that one. I actually forgot that he was in that game, but he was in that one where Toulouse won. And then Lucio Cinti is the outside center for Argentina, who's been, again, just a lot of energy, very good defense out of the 13 jersey for Argentina. And this will be probably the biggest challenge for them in the Rugby World Cup, definitely. Jordie Barrett comes in number 12. He was injured a little bit, and he came out this last week against Ireland in absolute fine form. His goal kicking was sublime. Defense was sublime. His running game was just impeccable. Everything he did was physical. And Jordie Barrett saving a try as well. A game-winning try could have been for the Irish. Jordie Barrett saved that, by identifying the issue in the rolling maul, saving that situation, salvaging that, and holding the ball up over the try line was absolutely incredible what he achieved there. Riku Ioane, number 13, again, one of the fastest guys in World Rugby right now. I think he might be the fastest, or maybe Cheslin Kobe is the fastest, but he's just sensational. Every time he gets the ball, he's dangerous. And one of the things that the All Blacks likes to do is jam both the centers at the 10-12 channel at the 12-13 channel at the same time. And Jordie Barrett will try to squeeze the ball through for Riku Ioane to punch through that gap there. So yeah, really, really dangerous, the two players on full flight. Riku Ioane is just unbelievable when he plays. Number 14, Emiliano Boffelli for Argentina, and Will Jordan showing his tremendous prowess against Ireland, finally getting that, that we all know, showing that try scoring abilities that we all know that he can do from Super Rugby. And Emiliano Boffelli is a goal kicker for Argentina out of the 14 jersey, very dangerous on the wing as well by his own rights. But I think the difference between the two guys will be under the high ball. I think Will Jordan might be slightly better there over Boffelli. Finally, in the fullback position, Bowden Barrett had probably the best game at a fullback position so far this year. It was just the way that the way that the All Blacks operated was, instead of just little kick behind, those contestable kicks behind, not too high, not too low, not too high, not too long, just enough so that your own teammate can get there and catch the ball on the full, so that there's no too much hang time, allowing the opposition to put up blockers, blockers to kind of like obstruct the challenge. Something that Bowden Barrett has been finding that sweet spot for the All Blacks quite a bit against Ireland, and really opened up the Irish defense with those really beautiful kicking. And Juan Cruz Malia is the fullback for Argentina, incredibly good under the high ball. But once again, he's it's the kicking game from the Bowden Barrett will be a massive puzzle for him to solve and to try to overcome. In the reserves now, we got Augustin Creevy, the veteran, coming off the bench to try to finish off the game. He's in such good shape, man. He comes off looking like an absolute bulldozer, and he just looks ripped at 38 years of age. It looks like he's in better shape than Monteja, and he's like, how many years older than he is, Monteja? Yeah, he's like what, almost 10 years older than Monteja, and he's looking like he's in much better shape. Just absolutely ripped. Coming off the bench, Augustin Creevy, Joe Scalvi comes in, and number 17, and Hidrado Bello, number 18. The kind of like the setup that Argentina likes to go to now in the reserve front rowers. For the All Blacks, there has been a little bit of change here. Number 16, instead of Dan Coles, Samisoni Taukei'aho is going to get a shot at the hooker position. Taukei'aho was one of the most dangerous, man. I thought it was probably the best hooker in the world at one point, maybe last year. And just the physicality brings, the ball carrying, his ability to just score, try in short distance with a leg drive, was just like the strike rate for him to score points when he's really close to the try line, when the pick and go was so high. I thought it was just it was like superhuman level of leg power there. And then he just kind of fallen off a bit in 2023. His line out has been off, and that physical dominance and with the leg drive just hasn't been there so far this season. So we'll have to see if he's going to be able to maintain that jersey after this match. It's good to see finally get some game time. And again, that clinicalness, the polish of the line out, it's going to be very, very important. He really cannot afford to come onto the field and blow like a line out or two just from not throwing the ball straight. So yeah, we'll have to see how that's going to go. Tamati Williams and Fletcher Newell will be the loose head and tight head prop respectively. Both from the Crusaders, both very young guys, 23 years of age, and both has been basically plucked into the All Blacks team, and has been just very, very developing very nicely for both of them. Tamati Williams only debuted this year, and his here is in the Rugby World Cup semi-final, coming off the bench to make that impact play. That big size, 144 kilos, and the big body it's gonna be brutalizing for the Argentinians. Coming number 19, Matias Alemano for Argentina. Brody Vitale gets moved to the bench from the starting position, and Rodrigo Bruni will be the number 20, the loose forward reserve for the Argentinians, and Dalton Papali'i will be a flanker reserve for the All Blacks out of the number 20 jersey. Number 21, Latrano Bazanvelas will be the Argentinian reserve halfback. Finlay Christie did not get any game time against Ireland. So once again, got the number 21 jersey over Cam Roygard. And again, Roygard last week was suspended as well with Mark Talea. Not sure if they're actually involved with each other with suspension due to off-field disciplinary issues. So we're not sure if that's an ongoing issue back behind the scenes. But once again, I'm surprised to see that Roygard is not selected out of the number once again this week. Finlay Christie didn't play at all last week, despite being on the bench. So yeah, number 22 now, Nicolas Sanchez. This will be the key difference maker for Argentina. If Argentina can stay close, Sanchez will be coming on the bench to bring that experience to close out the game. He did that a number of times already this season in the Rugby World Cup. Against Samoa, against Japan, And then, against Wales, he's going to be looking to do that once again to be the impact player to finally putting Argentina into that elusive Rugby World Cup final. Damien McKenzie is the utility reserve for the All Blacks. He'll be covering just about every position in the back line. And he didn't get any game time as well last week. We'll see if he's going to get some this week. And finally, in the number 23 jersey, Matias Moroni for Argentina, an additional center. And the All Blacks also opted for Anton Lennon-Brown as the additional center out of number 23 jersey. So yeah, this is really comes down to the style. If Argentina can slow the game down and not allow the All Blacks to run away in the rain, Argentina will be able to, there is an opportunity for Argentina to have Sanchez come off the bench and make an impact play and snatch the game out of the depths. It is 100% a possibility. But if the All Blacks is going to, utilize the rain, if Argentina is going to have a sloppy handling, and the All Blacks will just, will dominate the game. So this game could go either way, but I do think that the rain plays into the advantage for the All Blacks. And Rico Ioane, the best performance I've seen in many years was playing in the rain against Argentina in that blowout match last year. So this is not in New Zealand, so the All Blacks won't have the home ground comfort, but the rain will definitely still favor the All Blacks. So my prediction is that the All Blacks will win this one. Will win this one by probably about 7 points. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys a bit later for the Springboks and England announcements. And thanks for watching. Thanks to anyone who donates money and supports me with the membership, Patreon membership, and YouTube membership. I do appreciate it. And have a good one, guys. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Cheers. Oh, by the way, this thing will be in the comment section as well. You can download it and have a look at it yourself if you're interested. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Cheers.